Well, she rushed on, it's not only that. Maybe, when you think about it, maybe he really should have some more time, a couple of weeks to get used to the new job. And you had to wait until April to think about all that, Jean said with some exasperation. The two older women were properly alarmed. Without looking, Margaret knew they were questioning, glancing toward each other. How they wanted this marriage. It was safe. Each was to get a dependable in-law. There were no dangerous unknown quantities. She understood. She slid into her jeans and buttoned her shirt, saying lightly, hurriedly, "Goodness, it's no problem. There's no big difference between June and July, is there?" As soon as they were alone, Jean asked the expected question. "What is it, Margaret? Is there any trouble?" "No, what could there be? Because if there is, I can't go off and leave you. I sometimes think I shouldn't be going anyway. India. It's crazy. Since that's where the consular service is sending Henry, it's where you have to go. Maybe it's crazy for me to think of marriage anyway, after all this time being a widow. All the more reason, Mom. I'll be fine. I can manage things." Yes, I know you're strong, but I'm leaving you with the responsibility of Nina. Starting a marriage with a 6-year-old child to care for simply doesn't seem right." "It's quite right. I love her, and Adam doesn't mind having her at all." "Yes, he's a prince, he really is. But you're a princess, Margaret, beautiful and good. Sometimes I think you're too good." "Spoken like a mother. Now do you mind? I've still got reading to do, and finals coming up around the corner." In her chair at the window, Margaret looked out at the well-known landscape, letting her troubled and restless mind wander. She thought about her early dreams, the allure of medicine, her vision of herself in an operating theater, or maybe on a hospital ship bringing modern miracles to remote places. You can be anything you want to be, her advisors told her. But as she grew older during these last years at college, it became clear that choices would have to be made. Adam was the elder, the one who was now prepared to move from the study hall into the real world. Certain to receive his graduate degree with honors, he had already been engaged to work right here in Elmsford at Advanced Data, one of the busiest computer companies in the state. It promised a glowing future. Now, since the state university was more than 200 miles away, medical school for Margaret became an impossibility. A sudden and frantic agitation possessed her, so that she started up, dropping her book to the floor, and seizing a sweater, ran clattering down the stairs. In the yard, Jean was pushing Nina on the swing. On the rise, the child's legs were tilted higher than her head, and her laughter rang, while on the downswing she squealed in mock terror. Brought from Chicago when Jean's sister died, she had become Jean's and Margaret's child, more accurately, Margaret's, a rescued child, innocent product of careless sex and an anonymous father. "I thought you had to study," Jean said, surprised. "I need some air and exercise. I'm going to take a walk." The street was pleasant, the old, well-tended houses far apart. Past the streets with the small-town 19th century air, she came downhill into the city that Elmsford had become. Here was the main library, Gothic and ivied, where Mom had been head librarian. Here was the high school where Margaret Keller, freshman, had so miraculously caught the attention of Adam Crane, senior. Nostalgia drew her into the playing field. She stood, cold in the rising wind, thinking, if she could only talk to Adam, not over the telephone, but while she could look into his quiet face, he would reassure her. Yet he had not reassured her. When after he had rather vaguely suggested the delay of their wedding, she had asked him whether there was anything that he had not told her, he had merely, with equal vagueness, denied it. Could he have found somebody else? She had to ask him, and she began to walk, almost run, toward home and the telephone. Her heart was sick in her chest, now hammering, now fluttering, as she sped back up the slope. She had to stop for breath, to lean against an old stone wall. But she knew she could not possibly ask him. She would simply have to wait for whatever might come next. It was a question of pride. A woman did not beg. At least this woman didn't. If Adam ever leaves me, she thought again, I shall die, no matter what Mom thinks. Or no, I shan't die, but I shall want to. I shall go on living and wanting to be dead, which is worse than being dead.